friends, it's Kristin at Home. Today's video starts out with a little visit to the Goodwill, and I am just showing some interesting fall decor that I have picked up either to upcycle or that I'm considering. I'm just showing my cart now. I did pick up these two plaques. I'm going to show a close-up of those. They have resin on them and they're very yellowed. I thought this mug was really cute. It had Beetlejuice vibes. At my Urbandale Goodwill, it was $2 and something. This cat is funny. When you squish it, it has like, snakes or tentacles come out. Hi, it's Kristin at Home. And this week, I have something special that is going on besides my 30 meals in 30 days recipes. I also joined a thrift challenge from Desert DIY. Corey over there is doing a ugly duckling challenge that's autumn themed, and she has challenged thrifters and DIYers to go to the thrift store and find the worst item there and then make it over using an autumnal theme. So fall or Halloween or anything that makes you think autumn. So I did go thrifting and picked up a few things from Goodwill that I am going to, some of them I'm just going to decorate with, but some of them I am going to use for the challenge and make them over. I'm going to show some photos of some items a little bit later that I looked at Goodwill and some inspiration for what those could become. But I didn't buy those ones. I will show you the ones that I did buy. So my first stop at the Urbandale Goodwill, I bought these two wooden art pieces. They look like a DIY project, maybe from sometime in the 70s. They have like heavy lacquer on them, and they have like a little boy and girl that's been distressed, and then there's like this shiny epoxy on top. These are both really sun faded, and the lacquer is very yellowed. And I paid $4.90 a piece, which I feel like is kind of a lot considering that they look terrible. But I have some inspiration for how I'm going to make those over. I also picked up these two framed pieces. I mostly picked them up for the frames themselves. This one was $4.40, and I got this one because it was the same size and I wanted a pair of them. And apparently I paid $6.70 for this one. I didn't realize that I did that. I thought it was the same price as this one. So that's a little bit unfortunate, because that's a little more than I would have liked to pay. But I'm also going to upcycle that. I picked up this paintbrush set. It has all sizes of brushes in here, and I paid $4.40 for this, and I'm a little disappointed in myself and in Goodwill's pricing, because later that same day I was at Walmart and saw this same paint set for $1.50. So that's a little annoying, that I overpaid by that much for that. It goes to a good cause, I guess. There was a lady there shopping, and she handed me this brass owl bookend. She said, "Hey, this looks like your style based on the things I had in my cart. Would you like this? I've been looking for the match to it, because, you know, it's a bookend. There should be two of them, but I can't find it. And I thought maybe you would like it since your cart seems to have this style of thing." And I was like, yeah, that'd be great. I would love that. To be honest with you, if I had seen this for $3.90, I would have picked up this vintage brass owl bookend even by itself. So shout out to whoever that lady was. You are a thrifter's thrifter. Thank you. Love that. I also picked up this Costa Sterna. It is a crystal star candle holder. in the original box yet. There's only one of them in here, but it also came with two candles. Two candles, and then this, I can't believe it has the original box with it, and also it's not chipped or anything, that's just wax stuck on there. And then it also has its sticker on it still, and then there's also an engraving on the edge. So that's really fun. I was excited to pick that up and have it be still in the box. And what did I pay for this? $4.90 for that crystal star. Says it's made in Germany, so that's awesome. What else did I get at that store? This baggie of ceramic, forget what you call them. It's like Mexican tonala style painting on these. This one is a frog. These two are little skeleton skulls. They make me think of the Mexican Day of the Dead. This one has like green floral on it. And then there's a kitty that has flowers on it that's also painted. So I'm not going to make those over. I just am going to decorate with those also because I like them so much. And I thought those were a good price for those. So that was at the Urbandale store. Those were $2.90 for that whole bag of Mexican painted pottery figures. So there's two different sizes of skulls. There's a frog and a cat. And then the last thing I got at that store was this baggie of craft supplies that was marked for $1.40. And it had all of this kind of Halloween style craft paper in it, and I didn't open the baggie in the store. I just picked it up hoping that it was loose scrapbook paper, but some of the pieces are glued together, so I am either going to trim them out of there. I wish they weren't already all glued down, but I'm going to use them. This is like the stained glass window clock. If you've watched the show Wednesday, it almost looks like that, but without the color. It's the black and white. But yeah, there's like all these kind of Halloween creepy striped, like this is a plant, but it has eyeballs on the paper. So some of it's cardstock and some of it's just like, this paper looks like a old library card that you would check out. So this cardstock has like little spider webs all over it. There's more of this kind that has like skulls and writing and mushrooms. And then not the crow, but the raven. So it's kind of like spooky themed paper. And then there's like a haunted house. And again, I'm gonna have to like trim. There was also this little wooden witch, and she was glued on up here. And I thought it would be easy to just pop her off. I figured she was on there with like hot glue or something. And actually I broke her little broomstick when I did that. So I had to glue her back together. And this was all in this bag. This Elmer's glue stick was in there. This whole kind of like junk journal glued together style folder of paper. And then there was also like a kind of like a 2D shrinky dink style plastic moth. So I'm going to use all of that as part of my materials for my upcycling, the paper and the little tchotchkes that were in there. And then I stopped at one other Goodwill, and there I bought another baggie, and this baggie has like body parts, like a plastic shell, and then body parts that are like kind of rubbery, squishy. And then there's like plastic spine and rib cage and I don't know, a stomach, a spleen, arms, like finger bones, that you would that kids would do as like an activity to like put inside the plastic shell of the person. And I'm also going to use that as part of my upcycling project. I'll show some inspiration photos and then my final product at the end. And this was $4.40 at that Goodwill for this bag, for this basically like human body style game where you build a display. And then I also got a little resin kitty he has a very chonky backside but a more petite front, and his eyes are green. And I'll show you my inspiration for what I'm going to use this kitty for here in just a little bit. I'm also going to show the things I left at the store, but some inspiration photos for those things. And I will be painting my kitty, my epoxied plaques. I'm going to be painting these with black Rust-Oleum spray paint. I'm going to go outside to do that because I'm not going to do that in here. But the rest of the makeover I will do here and record it so you can see it. And then my picture frames, my two same size picture frames here, I'm going to paint these also, but not with the black. So please enjoy some inspiration photos and some things I found at the Goodwill but left behind. And I will meet you back here just shortly and show you the actual process for my upcycling items that I'm going to work on here. An item I found at Goodwill but left behind were these little stick pencils. And I thought this lamp would be cool made over to where the globe part in the middle would be like a pumpkin. Those are just some inspirational ideas. And then this little diffuser I thought would be funny as Cousin It. And this is just some art I found that I thought would be pretty to decorate with without making over. An example of what it would look like. I found this mug but didn't buy it. Loved it though. Only $1.40. And then of course I bought these plaques that I will be making over. And here is my inspiration for these. So I got these two plaques ready for making over by painting them black, and I let those dry overnight, and I cut out my paper, and I liked these little objects to add on to give them more dimension. So that was my before plaques, and there is my makeover. I think these look so cute. Here I am taking those two same size frames that I bought that already had artwork in them. They did have paper over the back, but you can still put your own artwork in if you just grab a utility knife and cut the paper on the back side out. And then you can open it just like a normal picture frame. With these, I had to take a little screwdriver and very carefully bend up all of the staples that were holding the mat and then the glass down so that I could take those out. I took the glass out before I painted them. I used a product called Rub and Buff to paint these. And the color that I used was called Gold Leaf. They have lots of different colors of gold Rub and Buff, but that's the one I was using for this project, was called Gold Leaf. And while these two frames weren't exactly the same pattern on the frames, they were the same size. And so I just painted them so that they looked more like a complementary pair. There's an appearance by my kitty. Her name is Lucy, short for Lucifer. She's very helpful on projects when no cats are needed. So I'm just moving on to the second frame to get my gold leaf over that. And there, I'm all done, the magic of videos. And here is the end result. I put some paper, some scrapbooking paper into the frames and put the glass back behind it so it was the right thickness. And then I just added those pieces from that anatomy kit and I hot glued them onto the frame. I think these look really fun, kind of like science style diagrams, but with the added whimsy of the scrapbook paper in the back. These 3D faux taxidermy pieces were my inspiration for that project. You remember the little resin kitty that I picked up? He was a little bit chonky. I painted him black, and this Anthropologie cat was the inspiration for him. I don't think I mentioned in the video, but he was $2.90. There he is, all painted up. I cut a little white scrap of fabric to turn him into a ghost. He does look a little derpy, so maybe it's a Pinterest fail, if you will, but I'm enjoying him. And here is my upcycled plaques. My worst thing in the thrift store, upcycled to cute Halloween decor. If you liked this Ugly Duckling challenge where I took the worst thing in the thrift store and upcycled it into cute fall decor, please leave me a note and tell me about that. And also go over to Desert DIY's page, that's Corey, and she is hosting this Ugly Duckling challenge. And if you want, you can vote for my transformation. Thanks you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day.